What's good, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. I am your host, Leon Jones. You can catch me every Saturday on Blog Talk Radio. It's Blog Talk Radio /411 Talk Zone Radio. Call-in numbers 215-383-5785. Got a topic that you would like for me to converse or present? lej6521@gmail.com. Let's get into the topic. The topic I want to talk about is segregation. Do we need segregation? The reason why I'm bringing this topic up to the forefront is for the last 50 years, when we integrated, we've gotten very, very, very comfortable. And I believe that we've lost our own morals and values so we can be with white people. Not discriminating against white people. But I remember when we didn't have anything during the Jim Crow era as far as rights, we had our own businesses, we had our own banks, we had our own schools. Now, you know why we had everything? Well, we had all that because the Bible says if you don't work, you don't eat. Well, you have to survive. Do we need to have that again? See, the problem I see with modern day black folk is we do a lot of talking, but a number of us are lazy. We have figured, well, we've integrated and that's enough. What we should have fought for was equality, not integration. Now, when I say segregation, I mean have a community. Look at the Chinese or the Asians. Look at the Jamaicans. Look at the Italians. You go in every city, there's a little Italy. They have a community. Now, what I mean by a community is this. We have our own institutions, like our media, our own restaurants. Now, the integration part is where individuals can come, buy our product, we keep the money in our community, and we can build more businesses and create more jobs and have better schools. We can have our own person representing us in a city council. If you look at the Asians, they don't have many people who are in politics, but yet they even earn more than the white man earns. They have their own restaurants, and they'll put restaurants in every community, and everybody buys their food, whether good or bad. Now, the reason why I believe that we need segregation is for this reason. Segregation forces us to be responsible. You know what they do with child support when they want to make a man pay child support? They have some conditions that they put us through so we'll pay child support, such as they'll levy our bank account, take our license. Well, that's forcing us to be responsible. Now, should anybody force us to be responsible? Absolutely no. Nobody should force us to be responsible at all. But the bottom line is when you get too comfortable and you like the way the situation is, you get complacent. Complacency, all that does is breed failure. What I'm suggesting based on segregation is to bring back the modern day thinkers. I mean, I can remember when black people invented open heart surgery, blood banks. All this was during the Jim Crow era. And we were only 3/5 of a person. Being 5/5 of a person or one person to vote, we love working for white folk. We believe that working for white folk is a real job. When they do a number on us in the workforce too, the workplace. I'm not talking about the segregation that puts us in chains. I'm merely talking about having a community. Look at the city of Chicago. When I go in the city of Chicago, I can go to different cultural areas and buy goods. And that's what black people can do. We have the talent to fix cars. make clothes, be lawyers, be engineers and doctors. But too many of us we romanticize being a rapper, a ball player. But if you look at that as well, you see a brother making $4 or $5 million playing football, putting a rock in his hand, running for a touchdown. What is that owner making? And football has really a 3-year life. Once you get broken up, you're out of football. They're going to get somebody else to take your place. We will go hard to make the white man rich, but we don't go hard for each other. And this is the morals and values. See, during our grandmother's time, we had to survive. So we had to come up with ways, like the cotton gin, to make our job easier. Why can't we do that now? See, Malcolm X did say one thing in his speech that I heard. He said, why get mad regarding white people for not hiring us in an infrastructure that we didn't create? He's right about that. I don't get mad if a white person doesn't want to hire me. I create my own. And then I'll sell my goods to him. But the money stays with me. Now, I'm going to tell you what else we need to do in the black community, and this is going to hurt some feelings, but it's got to be said. Get rid of government programs. You shouldn't have young people on welfare, EBT, and housing. Housing should be only an emergency, and if you're going to utilize it, make it temporary. See, that's one of the big problems. See, if you knock out all these government programs, the out-of-wedlock pregnancy rate will go way down. And then you'll find out who individuals really are. Because if you're not getting that handout, you got to pull your load. And there are a number of men and women that need to pull their load. They have to make sacrifices. And this is what Black Wall Street did. Everybody made sacrifices. Everybody had a role to play. And when you have a role to play and you understand hierarchy, men leading, women also leading, taking their part, we have a balanced society. Therefore, we don't have to depend on a white economics or white economy. We have black economics. That's what we need. So I urge everybody to think about segregation. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. Now, most people are going to take segregation and put it back in the Jim Crow era. No. You shouldn't segregate against anybody as far as race is concerned. But you want to maintain a culture. I mean, I would love for white people or Hispanic people to come into our neighborhood and eat soul food. Just like we eat Chinese food, Italian food. Let's have a soul food restaurant. Let's have a nice club. Let's have a nice school. Let's keep what we manufacture in our community. The only way that's going to be done is you must have segregation and eliminate government programs, because too many of us have gotten comfortable on government programs. Therefore, it's eliminated responsibility. Segregation will force us to be responsible, because if we're not going to eat. See, the minute you get rid of that handout, then your talents are going to have to show. You won't be as comfortable. Everybody will play a role. Sacrifice. Then we'll have a family structure as well. I'm going to talk about this topic this week on the radio, segregation, because I believe it needs to be stated. Because too many African Americans are very comfortable in their own skin and we have a dilapidated community. Nothing's going on. There's no leadership. There's no responsibility. There's no business. Now, we have a progressive community in Prince George's County, Maryland, Upper Marlboro and Bowie, but there's no business. Most of those individuals take the subway into D.C. and they work for the government. If we're going to compete with any other race, and if we're not going to be the laughing stock, we have to start utilizing our own thought processes and come to grips of segregation. Because in the end, it's going to make us work a lot better. Black people are smart people. We just let ourselves go for government benefits and integration. And what we've done, we've made other people rich. But I'm going to talk more about this Saturday on the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show. And I thank you for listening to the YouTube edition of the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show. I am your host, Leon Jones. Remember, be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Always know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Thank you for listening to the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show. I'm out.